stream. I hope everyone's doing good on this Wednesday today. Um, my day was busy, long. It was another work day, but I am finally done with work for the week until Monday, which is awesome. But, hang on. But right now, I'm just laying down, relaxing, just trying to let my side effects slow down too, because y'all, the side effect life can do it to me about half the time. And so, um, yeah, so if you guys are new here, welcome. And if you are a returning subscriber or a moderator who's been here before, welcome back. Um, so give me insight and all that. But, um, yeah. But right now, all we're just doing is we're just relaxing at the moment. So, yeah, my throat is killing me. But yeah, so, and if anyone hasn't already, feel free to hit the like button up here and also subscribe and hit the notification bell down below and set that to all notifications so you get all the latest updates from when I go live to when I post a video of some sort on here, whether it's shorts, videos, and more. And yeah, but yeah, so um, yeah. Anyway, that's just what's going on there. But yeah, but all I'm just doing right now, though, y'all, is I'm just relaxing. I'm laying down, trying to let some of my dizziness kind of slow down. Which, for some of you that are new here and don't know this about me, I am a 20-year epileptic survivor. Um, I was diagnosed with a medical condition called epilepsy when I was just a baby. And if you don't know what that is, it's a neurobrain disorder where all of the nerves and the where the nerves and the electrical system in the brain malfunctions and causes me to have seizures. And sometimes they can get to the point where I'm having to be hospitalized for them because of either how long they get or I can have more than just one seizure at a certain point. But um yeah, it's pretty crazy. So um but it's pretty crazy, y'all, I will say that. So but at one point in my life, the doctors did well, at one point I had to have brain surgery just to save my life and have a chance at living. And yo, I swear, me saying that story to you guys, I swear, I just rethink to myself of how far I've come since then, but also, I mean, I've told other people of mine, like I've told one of my coworkers actually about that story that I told you guys. Like I was telling one of my coworkers, I think my first week on the job, and even she was like how a lot of anyone I've told it to have reacted, where they've just been just in shock, like the good kind of shock that, wow, you know, and just, ugh, you know. And I mean, you know, when something like that, when you were somebody who went through something that tragic and intense just to save your own life on the underline, You know? It's a lot. And even for someone at my age too, because yo, I was only a 1 year old at the time. Like I was only a month before I was two, which is still crazy to believe, by the way. So September 4th, 2007, which is nuts, yo. That day is something to me, but also, wow, it's crazy as well and all that. But yeah, let me look through my chat 'cause I am seeing people coming in here. Hey there, Kaden. I think you're new here, but welcome. How you doing, Audrey? I think you're new too. Welcome, Kinley. Thanks. I think you're new as well, so welcome. So a lot of us are new except for my mod that's in the chat. But anyway, Brahma, how are you doing? Hopefully you're doing well as well. I'm just looking through the comment section for those of you that are just coming in here. And so, um, yeah. So, um, let's see here. What else is reading here? Hey, Sensei. Let me pin this real quick, Brahma, so that way they can see this. And for anyone who's alright, you guys, be sure you guys are looking at the pin comment with important information. That way you guys can kind of know a little bit of what's going on. And, it's good to always look through that. But yeah. Hey there. And I'm gonna call you that just so I don't mispronounce the first half of your name. How are you doing? Hopefully you're doing well. And I can tell that you're new here. So welcome. And let's go for people like the live. A big shout out to those of you who are just starting off the likes and all the things. And so, yeah. Anyway. Oh my gosh. But yeah, and all that. But yeah, right now I'm just sitting down in my bed, just chilling. And also I'm just chilling, just trying to not think about just my side effects that do it to me and all that. But and also for some of you that are also getting to know me too, um, even after the surgery, even didn't I kind of more later in life started getting really bad side effects. So due to my surgery plus the medication I take for my epilepsy, and it causes me to have dizzy spells constantly, also known as episodes because that's what it is. I usually say episodes for some people just so it's a little easier for you to understand. Because if you're not familiar with that either, that's just when you get dizzy out of the blue. Um, and then I also get um crazy, like really bad headaches as well. Not like migraines, but I do get headaches though, also caused by that too. But the the right now the I will say this, the good part about my medication though is it does help seizure prevention though. So at least it helps my seizures being like completely like canceled. That's the best way to put it, y'all, because I've not had a seizure since sophomore year. So, AKA since like late 2022. But yeah. Oh my gosh, 30, only like 30 more minutes until my baby gets out of work. Yay! Oh my gosh. I mean, he and me both had, I mean, both work for us was, I mean, work for me was pretty good because I worked today, and work from what I've heard from AJ has been good, but we both had crazy chaos stuff that's happened. Yeah. For y'all's. But yeah, we both had something that happened at work. Like, y'all, for example, um, for reference, um, for reference, no, I'll go in order by work order. With me, work was pretty good for most of it. But I, in fact, had a second dizzy episode in the middle of work. So, I, so Lily, sometimes I could kind of let it slide, but that's more because it's more like less enough where I can concentrate, but not where it's making me insane. But at one point, I, I know at one point I really felt an episode really targeting me. So I'm like, you know what? I need to sit down for a couple minutes and let it slow down just a little bit. And y'all, and for reference, y'all, I was folding linen. I was literally folding linen. So anything's from curtains, like shower curtains, bed sheets, bed sets, towels, hand towels, napkins, you name it. And and for me, I just started, I was in the middle of folding one of like with, I was literally starting folding maybe my, maybe second, third, I can't remember what number, maybe third, maybe second, third, or fourth round of linens is also a name for all this too, y'all. and and just to get um all of that out. And so, um, yeah, and all of that, but, um, yeah, it was pretty chaotic, and so, um, hey, let me sit up a little bit. I'm gonna take my time though, y'all. So, thank God. Um, yeah, it was pretty crazy, y'all. I will say that. And so, um, yeah, and all that. And so, um, yeah, pretty crazy. And so, um, but yeah, it was crazy, y'all, because literally what I was doing was, Starry, welcome back. How are you doing, girl? It's been a minute, but how are you doing? I'm doing alright. It's been one, one of a day, like typical. And so, um, yeah, and all that, which, you know, but yeah, y'all, I was literally in the middle of, um, like I said, I was at least, if I had to guess the number, because I at least did a good couple of rounds of folding linens at work today, which like I said, that's anything from bed sheets, shower curtains, towels of any kind, napkins, and all kinds of stuff. And getting that out and folded so that way it can be on display. Hey there, Autumn. How are you doing? And to answer your question, I'm doing alright. Just trying to hang in there like anyone would do. But, um, yeah. So, yeah. Anyway, um, yeah. But that's just but that's what's going on. But yeah, it was crazy. So I was at least, if I had to guess the number of rounds I was probably on, I would, I want to say maybe I was on maybe my third, fourth round. At least. I was at least a couple rounds. If I say, when I mean a couple, I mean like maybe 2 to 4 rounds, maybe, if I had to guess. At this point. So maybe I was, if I'm just gonna take a random guess because, me, I don't count half the time. So it's like, you know, but if I had to probably guess, I maybe would say maybe the third or fourth round, possibly, um, of linens and just getting that out on the, because we have a little spot where all that goes. Um, so that way customers can look at those and see if, because you never know, because who knows, they could be looking for um tablecloths or bed stuff or anything within that window. And we have like a good chunk worth that gets donated. And so, um, yeah, so I was, hey there, Jesse, how you doing? I did see that you come in. Um, but yeah, I was like at least on one, at least I was, but yeah, I was at least a good couple of rounds into it when, um, actually, I was actually getting, like, I was right about getting started on one of the rounds. And, um, that was just when I really felt that my side effects were targeting me like crazy. So I'm like, okay, even after I folded, because at first I was folding a dang blanket at first, like normal. And then that's when I was like, okay, you know what? Let me pause for a couple minutes and sit down. Because, oh, I cannot. And some of you guys know how I am. And for some of you that don't know, I am a 20-year epileptic, and some people with epilepsy are prone to side effects from their medication half of the time. Not everybody, but some. And I'm one of those. But my meds help seizure wise. It's just the side effects that make me go crazy and all that. And y'all, this is like, I will say this. This is like the second time. Like, this is the second time I've had a dizzy episode in the middle of my shift on the job. And so I'm like, that's great. Oh my gosh, 19 more minutes till my boyfriend gets off work. And so, um, yeah, it's pretty crazy. But, um, yeah, and so, um, oh my gosh. And so, let me see here. Oh my gosh, Brahma, that's crazy. Hopefully, work for you goes well. But dang, that's crazy hours. Cool. I mean, you kind of, you're a little similar to AJ, but his is more like later to, he ends at 11, but his go like later on to. Actually, I need to see. I think his tomorrow. Was like, I think 3 or 3:30 tomorrow. I need to look and see, but I think I have to look. But I know his. Usually his hours are ending at 11 at night. And he's either starting at either early afternoon to sometime um late evening. Like yo, he's late evening going into night shift, sometimes afternoon shift going into evening and night shift, which is bonkers. So yeah, bro, hopefully work for you goes well and all that. And so um yeah, it's pretty crazy. And so um yeah. But I am so glad that I'm off for the rest of the week and all that, and then I'm back in swing Monday for um week 5. Which is crazy. Like that's insane to think about. And my friend called, but I need to let her know that I'm on live right now. And so, um, that's pretty crazy. And so, um, yeah. And also, yeah. Um, Let me see, who have I not responded to? I think I saw someone's comment earlier. Let's see. Let me put yours up here. See, I did see your comment. I'm trying to see. Let's see. Kotek, I saw you. Think, I think you're returning. I'm just trying to remember, cause I get so many people here. How are you doing? And then, hey there, buddy. I think you're new, so welcome as well. Okay, sorry, I was trying to make sure I didn't miss someone's comment. Some above, cause sometimes someone's comment can slide in without me knowing. Even I read like head to toe on comments. But um, what's your favorite thing to do at my job? Oh, that's a good question. If I, oh gosh, probably probably my favorite thing to do at my job is either tag items or um what else was my favorite thing to do? Or um occasionally going through different pieces of clothing and making sure that it looks pretty well. But honestly though, if I did pick like if I had something for sure though, it's probably tagging items because y'all, I remember learning all that like my first and second week, and I think my third week. And y'all, when I tell y'all, when I saw how, and I'll tell you guys this, when I saw that for like the first time, yeah, it was probably the coolest thing ever. Because, y'all, the kind of cool part was I actually got to learn how tags got put onto things. And I never knew. And it's so funny, even, I don't know, even I've never thought the process of that until recently. And, y'all, it was pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. Because it was just neat. Like, it was satisfying to see the tag go directly onto um the item, whether if it was a shirt, pants, shorts, you name it. Like, it was so cool just to see it go through and all that. And for someone and and for someone like me who's never and I'll just say this, and for someone like me who's never been in retail before, that's probably like the coolest thing that I've learned in retail, but also like the coolest thing I've seen firsthand and learned firsthand how to do and all that. Like it was pretty cool and all that. But also another thing I like to do at my job too is also go through um items as well and and it's also kind of cool because and I think my favorite thing I'll just say as a little add on here, my favorite thing at my job is seeing a lot of like the untagged, almost tagged items before they go out and get displayed. So y'all, it's really cool. It's kind of cool to me is it's kind of like a it's almost like a VIP moment in my head because you and your coworkers are the only ones that see what is gonna go out there and not customers. So it's almost like a cool sneak peek of what might be going out there. Like, it's so cool. And it's just also so cool, even it's just neat to see how, like, some of the stuff works and all that. But it's really cool, I'm not gonna lie, one bit. And so, um, I like to make my job a game and by completing task correctly, I win. That's cool. Yeah, I mean, I feel you too. Um, yeah, with me and my job, I mean, um, I mean, as well besides what I just mentioned, with me, I like to try to, um, make it easier on me and just, um, do one thing at a time. So, like, let's say I'm doing something in a task, but there's like a lot in it. I kind of like going a little easier than adding to it. So, as an example, um, linens is an example, which I mean, I will say this: linens is like my least favorite right now because y'all, I get wiped. But also, some of them, not every single one, but there's at least one or two that will pop in there and it'll just start getting dusty in between all the other ones. It just, oh, would make my allergies go insane and all the things. And just, ugh, it's crazy and all that. But, and also, yo, and the thing is about folding linens here is, yo, that's anywhere from bed sets, bed sheets, pillows, throw on blankets. So, like, this as an example. Pillowcases. Pillowcases aren't bad, but throw-ons here, like these two. Comforter sets like these. Pillowcases are simple to fold, so I don't worry about them. And then also pillows. And y'all, sometimes trying to fight just to throw at least one or two of these pillows onto the shelves. Y'all, as a 5'3" individual, that's one thing. It's like, you're doing your best just to find it up there. Like, actually, at one point today, I was putting, I think, one or two pillows up on the shelf. And y'all, like I said, I'm a shorty, so it's always hard to do it. And so I was doing the hardest. And of course, a couple of them will fall out of place. And so, you just do what you can. And then, yeah, it's pretty crazy. And so, um, yeah. But yeah, even with me though, like at work, I also like to, um, even with work, like I want to have it to where, um, let's say if I get confused on what the heck I'm doing or something in it, I do ask, hey, is because let's say for example, I'm looking through certain things and let's say something doesn't seem right or, you know, your brain just thinks, this isn't great, because sometimes the thing is, like I said, linens is my least, but sometimes one of the things is looking through and make sure that you're not approaching something with way too many holes or even stains to where it would be within the limit of, okay, put that as garbage kind of a thing. Because, who wants, I mean, who wants to literally just display that? Not me. And something about me, y'all, is I hate when automatic holes pop up like that. And it just makes me insane. I mean, first of all, if it's anything designer hole, okay, that's not a big deal. But whenever it's an automatic one that just comes out of nowhere, okay, different story. I swear, is a full on different story. Um, but yeah, it's crazy. And so, um, yeah, and all that. And so, um, but yeah, I mean, I do a whole lot though, y'all, at my work, and something I kind of like where I work at too is I don't I don't always do the same things every day. Like one day I could be doing one thing, and then the next day I could be doing something else on top of like maybe one of the same things I did, which is pretty cool. And like I said, I like that. And even if I just like that, I don't do the same stuff all the time. So I like that occasionally, um, my manager will throw in maybe one or two new things into one of my main things I've been doing. So whether if that's, oh wait, another cool thing I've liked doing so far too, I'm just not thinking about, are purses. Y'all, I'm telling you. Because y'all, we have a bunch of stuff where I work at, like even purses too, and y'all, there were so many cool ones. I'm like, good God, so cool. It was neat. And even some of the stuff I've done, it's like very satisfying to think and how some of it works. And it's rare that you see how certain stuff works every day like that. And so, like I swear, it's crazy. But yeah, 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 I feel yeah. Yeah, with me, I mean, I have I mean, I mostly occasionally like multitasking. It just depends on what I'm doing. Like, let me think. Like, I mean, for example, it works so far. I mean, there's been some times where I've multitasked, and let's say I was doing linens, and let's say I was in the middle of doing it, but then something I grabbed in the pile, let's say, didn't wasn't supposed to go in there. As an example, let's say if anything that was like kids stuff was in there. Okay, put it with that or try to put around it and all that. And so, um, yeah, I mean, I do a whole bunch too at work too. Um, but y'all, I will say this. For someone like me though, who works 4 hours on foot, is crazy. Like, and I will say this, I like the amount of hours I'm working, cause y'all, 4 hours already feels like eternity. Like, I'll just say this now. A couple people can think, oh, that will fly quick before you know it. Think again. Think that again. Y'all, for me, 4 hours has felt like probably almost if I were to be working my boyfriend's hours or even longer. Like it almost feels like the days flown by. Like it literally feels like the day is just slowly moving. And the funny part is sometimes I can think, okay, what time is it in my head? And little do I know it can say it's either 10:30 or something. And I'm like, the heck? And I'm like, how is it only 10:30 in the morning when it feels like it should be at least late 11 or 12, you know? It's crazy. And so I'm like, dear God. I'm like, no kidding. I mean, I'm thankful I've never had that thought whatsoever and been like, oh, this will fly by before I know it. Heck no. Like day one, I saw it firsthand. I'm like, oh God. I'm like, when is my shift gonna end? Oh, I'm like, when is this day gonna freaking end for work days? And y'all, and the best part is, I'll just say this, best part, even at work too, is seeing when my watch says 12:50 because right now what I do is I stop whatever I'm doing at the 10-minute mark just so that way I can go and get my stuff and get everything ready. So that way, because by the time I start doing a bunch of that, it'll start getting close to 11. I mean, 1. See, that's work brain right there. It'll be getting close to 1. And so it's like, oh, and I will tell you, even me coming out of work, I'm like, when it was probably 10 minutes before right before I got out of work, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm only maybe this much close to being done for the week. And it's like, oh my God, I've got this much to go. I'm like, okay, I've got 10, 11 minutes, 5 minutes to go, and then I'm done for the day. And then when I looked at my watch and it finally said 12:50, I was like, oh, thank God I am. And that was able to let me know, okay, I can pause what I'm doing and get everything ready and all that. And so, yeah, and then what I do is I go um, over to our, warehouse building where I usually leave my things in. So that way I mean, but it's also because I go there a bunch too. Because there's sometimes I'm having to be back and forth from there from the warehouse building to the store, like to and from occasionally. And so, yeah, it's crazy, but I'll tell you, but usually for me, it feels really good knowing that, oh, grabbing my stuff and signing off my timesheet and being like, okay, 1 p.m., bam. Because y'all, and yeah, if anyone that is wondering how clock in, clocking out for me works, y'all, the way that works for me, it's in my head, it almost feels old fashioned, but it kind of doesn't at the same time. Because with me, I have to physically write my time. So I have to physically write, okay, clocked in at 9. And then, of course, write my total hours, which is 4. And then also rewrite again when I have to go to leave. Okay, 1, which isn't too bad, but at the same time though, at the same time my mom was telling me I'm kind of glad that they're doing it that way because A, that's also less chances of hacking systems, trying to hack all that, but you know, and so yeah, it's crazy. But yeah. Oh my gosh, my baby's finally off work for the day. Hey, we're both done. I have to check in with him in a little bit and see how work went. Because I mean, with both me and him, it was crazy. Um, oh yeah, I need to get to his little story time because I was telling y'all a little bit of mine. Because like I said, with me, I was literally in the middle of folding linens and I was literally starting one of my next rounds of it, and I literally just started, well, after I started folding like the first thing of stuff that I've had, I just started getting just my side effects. I'm like, oh, great. Like, you know what? I'm gonna sit down a few minutes, for a few minutes here, and let all that just slow down to the point where it can be stable enough for me to function and all that. And then finally, when it was kind of stable enough, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go back and finish the work day. And then, y'all, with AJ's, because, y'all, here's what's crazy. Like, um, like, with his, y'all, here's what's crazy. So, his, I texted him during his break around 7, because today his break was from 7 to 8 each. So, I mean, the days that he has breaks are so different times. Like, one day can be from 7 to 8, next day can be 7:15, 8:15, next day can be um maybe maybe an hour before it. But mainly he's been anywhere between like the 7 and 8 time frame for his breaks, which is interesting. And so, um and all that. And he'd and I, yeah, you can. Brahma, what is it? And so, um, yeah, and so basically, he texted me back at like 7:40, at like, I think 7:49, and y'all, when I tell you that, yeah, I'll read it. Hang on, let me get it so I can read it to you guys because y'all, I'll read it to you guys because y'all, when I start reading this, y'all are gonna see why I mean this. Because me and him both, oh, he and I both had the chaos of, what, so, yeah. Oh, wait, hang on. So, but, yeah, so for those of you that are still in here at the moment. So basically, I'm gonna read some of that conversation a little bit earlier. So for reference, this was about 7:43 from when he responded to me during his break and all that. But hang on. Anyway, let me let you by remark. Okay, I will write that. I'll write that down here in just a second so I can check it out because I'll likely forget it after seeing it. So, but here we go. And so, yeah, and so basically, he texted me around 7:43, let saying to me, cause get this, y'all, I texted him like 7, let me see, at like 7:01, like a minute after his break started, and just texted him the normal, and I just said to him like normal, hey baby, how's work been so far? And I'm so proud of you for working your tail off. And then just like no response to him. And then like I said, around that, but yeah, actually it says 7:49. And then around 7:49, like 11 minutes before his break would have ended, he texted me, um, and y'all, when I'm about to read this, he and I both had it, and I'm about to read, and actually I'll read my response after so you guys can get the effect. But after that he texted me around 7:49 saying, hang on. He texted me around then saying, I just got on my break. I was doing trash. There was so much we had to go outside because trash trash for the trash compactor thing of his that's at work. One of the wheels broke the other day. Oh, hang on. Hold up. Let me. One of the wheels broke the other day. I'm good. I'm just exhausted. And I go, oh my gosh, baby. I'm sorry. I told him this. I literally go, oh my gosh, baby. I'm sorry about that. But but how's work overall though? And he said good. I'm like, that's good. So after that, this is when I kind of, after a few months of really reading it, I really rethought back to this morning because we both had chaotic little parts at work that happened. And I told him this, and I said this to him. I said, I know, and I said this here, I know at one point, hmm, I know at one point at work, I started having another dizzy episode once again, which was frustrating, and I was in the start of doing another round of linens, aka folding a bunch of all those, and working a 4-hour shift for me already feels like eternity, but literally. And but y'all, when he said all that and texted me earlier, I'm yeah, we both had it there. I'll say that. We both teamed that one. And again, we both worked it, which was crazy to think about. But yeah, it was insane, y'all. Like when I'm telling you, it was crazy. And so, um, yeah, it was wild. And all that. Let me look through my chat. I did see someone else came in here. Um, but Meg, I see you came in here. I saw that comment earlier. Hmm. Is homophobia a good thing? Uh, I don't know to answer that question. I don't know, but if I it sounds like not really. I don't know. I think I've heard the term myself, but I don't think it is. But you can always Google it. Hey there, Steven. I can see you're new here. How are you doing? R.I.P. Mitchell. Oh wow. So, sorry for spamming. I was just waiting for you to check your messages. It's okay, Steven. Let me say this to you, but also to everyone else in my comment section. Just for everyone in my life, as a friendly reminder, I do check comments head to toe. Like, I am deadbolt with my comment section. I mean, there's points where I'm talking for a good few minutes and then I'm looking through the comment section after. Sorry about that. And um, so, just as a friendly reminder, if you were trying to get my attention or something, and let's say I was talking or something, and I wasn't seeing your comment right away, just know I do see your comment. It just will take me a second to look through 'em because, y'all, there's points where it takes me maybe 10, 15 minutes for some comments. Not everyone, but some. Just to read a good chunk. But if it's like less than that, then it'll take me a lot faster. And so, um, yeah, so I just thought I would kind of clear that up with everybody in here too, since you brought that up as well. In which my mods know this because, they see how I am firsthand and all that. So, um, yeah, let's see here. Glad we're in the same boat. What are you doing right now? Right now, all I'm doing, I'm just relaxing at the moment. I'm waiting to fall uncon. Oh gosh. Brahma, that's crazy. That's crazy. But yeah, y'all, it was great. But yeah, it was nuts though, y'all. Because, like I said, with him, because y'all, like I said, when he texted me though, that let me know what literally sounded like about the same chaosness as me level. I was like, oh God. I was like, but y'all, but really though, now me thinking about it, y'all, we both had to go. There were parts of our workday, both our work days, where we both had chaotic things that happened and all that. Red, I see you're new here, so welcome. How are you doing? But yeah, it was crazy because with him, it was a lot of chaosness due to um one of the wheels on piece of equipment was not working for trash abilities and I'll read that again for those of you that didn't see it. But I of course was saying hey to him, see how work and told him and asked him how work was going at that time, which this was like 7:49 Texas time. And he said, I just got because I asked him how because first off his break was from 7 to 8, but he ended up getting on break a lot later than like a good while later than I thought he was gonna be. But that he said I just at that time he said, which this is at 7:49 by the way, y'all. So a few hours ago. He said I just got on break. He said I'm gonna repeat that because I'm missing where I'm saying that. But he said that time. Sorry, my mic keeps turning off. But he said I just got on my break. I was doing trash, and just so you guys know, he's a janitor at Walmart for reference, which is pretty odd. But he said I was doing trash. There was so much, and he said there was so much. We had to go outside because oh my gosh, my thing keeps turning off. But I'm gonna read that part again. There was so much trash. I keep saying that backwards, y'all. But basically, it said there was so much we had to go outside because um I'm gonna read that backwards actually. But he said I was doing trash there. There was so much we had to go outside because trash for the trash compactor thing, one of the wheels broke the other day. I'm good. I'm just exhausted. And I said, oh my gosh, baby, I'm sorry about that. I said, oh my gosh, baby, I'm sorry about that. But how's work overall though? And he said, good. I'm like, that's good. So after that, I say back to him. And after when he said that, it took me a second because, and it made me think about something that happened to me at work today too. And I told him, staying late. And I told him this that happened to me at work. So we both had things happen to both of us at work today that did something to us. And I told him that I know at one point at work I started having another. I told him this. I know at work. I know at one. I keep saying things backwards. I said this to him. Um, Give me a second. I said this to him. I know at one point at work I started having another Disney episode once again. Once again is the key word, y'all. Which was frustrating. Which was frustrating. And I was in the start of doing linens. And I told him this. I was in the start of doing another round of linens. And working a 4-hour shift for me already feels like eternity. But y'all, it was crazy. I actually need to text him actually to see how work was for him as we speak too. But yeah, y'all, it was wild. So, um, but yeah, I mean, we both went through it today. Like we both went through it at work today. I will say that. And that's what couples do. Is hey, we both go through things like that together, and that just shows we might be looking like in the next couple of years. And just, we're going through it. But yeah, y'all, it was crazy. Because for him, male function parts were going through the roof. For me, everything was great. And then I, once again, started having another dizzy episode on the job. AKA, I'm prone to all those because of my epilepsy and all that. And I was like, oh, great. Another episode on the job. Ugh. It was very frustrating, I'm not going to lie. Because, like I said, for those of you that are new to me, I was diagnosed with epilepsy when I was a baby, and then later on down the road, um, I mean, like I said, when I was about 2 years old, had almost 2 years old, I had to go under intense brain surgery just to save my life, and then that caused me to later in life, like my late teens to adults, started making me have really bad dizzy spells, also known as episodes, and headaches, which are side effects of the medication I take that also help with seizure prevention. But yeah, y'all, it was crazy. So for my boyfriend to text me telling me all that chaos made me it literally made me think about a similar thing that happened to me, but medical based. And that's one thing with couples too is if one of us is like telling each other about our workday or parts of our workday, you know, and let's say you that day also had a thing happen too that relates to that, say it, you know? And so, yeah. What's your OnlyFans? Uh-huh. See. Yeah. Yo, 10 likes, 11 likes now. Let's go. I developed epilepsy when I was 19. Oh my gosh. Wow. Oh my gosh. That, wow. Blake, wow. I will tell you this. That's crazy. Like, I'll tell you, I was about basically a couple months old when I was diagnosed with it. Um, and then I had to go under intense brain surgery when I was a month before I was two. So on September 4th, 2007, I had to go under that just to save my life and have a chance at me living. Because y'all, if I didn't do that surgery almost 18, 19 years ago, y'all, imagine what right now would have looked like. It probably would have looked crazy. I probably wouldn't even stand a job or even anything, honestly, and my parents would have still have been questioning themselves. And now, 20 years later, I'm 20 years old, almost 21. I finally have a job after 4 years of trying for this moment to happen. I have been dating my high school sweetheart of two and a half 2.5 years, almost 3 years, in like I think yeah, about maybe almost 3 months away until we officially hit the 3 year mark, which is crazy to believe and all that. And you know, yo, I'll tell you, it's something when literally, you know, it's crazy. But yeah, let me see. I have stress indicate. Wait, I have stress induced epilepsy. Oh gosh. Wow. I was 26 yesterday. Oh my, wow. Well, definitely happy belated birthday to you, Blake. Wow, wow. That is something there, I'll tell you that. But yeah, and so, Mia, welcome back, and thanks. We're only like a couple months away until we hit 3 years, which is crazy. And then also, Amelia, I see you're new here, so welcome. How are you doing? And all that. To answer your question, Mia, yes, I do. Oh wait, anime. I mean, okay. Sorry, I read something wrong here. But to answer your question, kind of. Not really. I'm not directly a huge anime person, but I've heard of it though. I will say that. Sorry, I was reading something completely different at first, but that's my brain. But also it's my side too. So, you know. But yeah. It's like a but yeah, it's like a 50-50. Oh my gosh, Heather, welcome back. How are you doing? It's been a minute. I get so many people in here, so it's very hard to keep track sometimes of my returnings that come back in here sometimes. So trust me, if I'm not recognizing a returning subscriber. And, because, I get so many incoming subscribers every single day on here, so it's hard to keep count. So, I can recognize a good majority of everybody, but, I could mistake somebody as a new subscriber when really you've been here before. And so, yeah, that's good to hear you're doing well, Heather. I appreciate it. So, um, yeah. And so, yeah, it's pretty crazy. And so, yeah, hang on, let me see. What was I doing for a second? Wait, let me see if I was in the middle of. I was in the start. Hang on. And all that. Hang on. Ask him how work went. I feel like he ever. Hang on. Hang on, y'all. I'm just checking my text. Awesome. There, Heather. I very appreciate it. Hang on, sorry. I'm just texting my boyfriend to see how his day at work went since he got off work not that long ago. And all that. Here. So, anywho, give me just a second. Anywho. So, okay, sorry, I was texting I'm waiting to see how work went. Now just waiting for a couple minutes and see how hopefully it went well. And all that. Hey there, Muffins, I can see that you're new. So welcome, how are you doing? And all that. But I'm on my only count and 7 and 8 and all that. Hey there, nobody. How are you doing? How are you doing? I can tell that you're new. But yeah, no, I'm just hopefully hoping that work went well for him. Even though he and I both had crazy, even though he and I both had, um, even though he and I both had crazy chaos incidents that happened in between our work days, but yeah. And so, um, that's good. I'm doing pretty good myself, just relaxing. Excuse me. And all that. I'm just so glad that I'm off work till I'm just glad to be off work till Monday. And all that. And so, um, yeah. To answer your question, nobody, yes, and plus I'm only 20 at the moment. And all that. And plus there's not even a rush, honestly. And all that. But yep, I live with my parents, which, you know, awesome. So, um, yeah. But yeah, we're just hanging out, y'all. You watch any movie series? To answer your question, oh gosh. Honestly, I don't know. It's been a second since I've even watched, TV last. I mean, there's some movies that pop up that are pretty good, but it's just been a while and all that. Gosh, wow. Yeah. Let's see. You know, let me stand up just so I can take my last round of meds. And so, um, you know that. Give me a sec. Oh gosh, superhero? Well, that's a good question. Um, ooh. If I probably had to pick on superheroes, probably my favorite one. Hmm. Gosh. Mm. Probably I would either say um that's a good question. Out of all superheroes I've seen or references, I probably am I probably would say either Batman um uh or Spider-Man because they both seem pretty cool. Oh, damn, I took it. Oh, hold up. I fucked this over. Just eliminate him. So, him. So, um, yeah, Batman's pretty cool. And all that. So, um, anyway, that's just what's going on there, though. Um, and nobody to answer your response. I mean, I'm not really that tired at the moment. Um, it just might be from shadow perspectives, probably. Because I mean, I took a nap today, y'all, because I mean, y'all, I worked a 4-hour shift today, once again, and let me just say this. We all know what that can do to anyone, even if you get a good night's sleep regardless. Like, y'all, I've been working 4-hour shifts for basically 4 weeks in a row. And y'all, let me just say this now. 4 see, look, my brain can't think. That's because work brain does it too. But I will say this, working a 4-hour shift, y'all, feels like eternity. Y'all, people will think in their heads, oh, that'll fly by before you know it. Heck nah. Mm-mm. Think that again. Like, actually think that again. Like, for me, 4 hours to me almost feels like my boyfriend's work hours because he works anywhere between like 4 to 7 hours. Sometimes maybe even half hours too. Like, there's been times I've checked my watch just to see what time it is. And y'all, there's been times I've looked at my dang watch and it said like 10:30 under like an hour of me being into work, and I'm like, how is it only an hour freaking from the moment I started? It does not feel like an hour. It feels like more hours has fleet by since then. You know? Just crazy. And so let's go 12 likes in the chat, y'all. But to answer your that's a good question. Mm, oh gosh. I mean, I could probably say my life goal probably is um oh god oh gosh. I think for me is hope. I think my life goal right now is hopefully eventually being licensed at driving whenever that time comes to me, because I'm basically about to be 21 in the next 4 months. But I mean, honestly, I'm not rushing time though, because y'all, life gets busy these days, and um, like for example, y'all, it took me 4 years just to get a job. I'll say that. Like, it took me 4 years just to get to this point. And I really didn't, I really didn't know when the day was gonna finally happen when God answered my prayer after so long. But, um, um, well, basically, like my first job. And honestly, I will say my first job right now, like where I work at right now, honestly, I like where I work right now. Like, honestly, I feel like I almost could work there almost life could if I could and all that. Because where I work, it's not super chaotic. Like, environment wise, it's not super chaotic, but it's like a good medium where
it's I mean, of course it gets busy in the room, but it's not like busy to where it echoes off the walls constantly. But and also I like that it's quiet enough to where I can think, but also it's quiet enough where it just feels relaxing. It just feels like a relaxing environment to me because, for example, what I mean by that is it's not like, let's say, Walmart, for example, where we feel like it get we feel like it's chaotic to where sounds are echoing from the walls half the time. But it's that good medium where you have a good busy environment, but enough to where it's not doing that, where it's not bouncing off the walls constantly. But also, it's also good because where I work, it's not like, I mean, it's big, but it's not like massively, not like Walmart size big, to where you're having to worry about where things are. I mean, of course you're gonna wonder where things go, but it's not like as bad of trying to figure out, okay, where does a certain item go? Where does this section go? And after seeing it, you go, okay, cool, it's there. And and for someone like me who, um, I can't, not all the time, I don't always have, I mean, I do have sensory issues, but it's not all the time, where sometimes I'm wearing headphones, but it's not like all the time but it really depends on how the sound reacts. And also depending on the size of the environment. Like the size like of my workspace where I work, right now is pretty good to where I'm not worried about it doing it to me and all that. Who needs claymores? But yeah. And so, um, mm, anywho, that's pretty crazy. And so, oh, let's see. You know what? I'll show you guys what I wore today for my fit. Um, I'll show you guys a few different perspectives. So, y'all, this was my outfit for work today. So I just wore this black V-neck lightweight shirt from Terran Sky. Y'all, this shirt is so comfy because I feel like I can actually breathe while moving. And then I just wore these black athletic shorts. And then here's another perspective. And then let me see, do I have, if only I had this other half of my, actually, can you now? Actually, well, you kind of can. Oh yeah, you can see my tennis shoes. And I'm also wearing these black Asics as well, which are really, yes, it is really comfy. And I'm also thankful for where I work. I'm thankful that our dress code isn't like insane to where we aren't really like we don't really have any uniform requirements. Only thing that really requirements that like dress code base is not to wear um like anything creepy kind of based stuff, which I don't even have that, so we're totally good. And also like short shorts, not like what's in this photo, but like lounge wear kind of like short. And and plus I've liked wearing these black shorts a bunch to work because the pockets in them are so durable and they actually go straight and not diagonal. Like they're not the typical pocket style. They're just like
hang on, and then I'll show you. And then this was me like right after work. Y'all can see the crazy after of me. And y'all where parts of me look like I'm glowing like crazy, that's me from sweating. But also a little bit above, I've got a lot of flyaways that's happened and all that. And that's the best part, y'all, is this shirt is just really comfy to wear and all that. And then I'll show you Monday's outfit too, because I work Mondays too. And then this was me on Monday, which was just this cute red t-shirt with this, and the difference is, y'all, they're the same, the shorts are the exact same ones, but the only difference is the ones in this photo, I'm wearing these in the 3XL, and the ones that y'all just saw before this, I was wearing those in the 2X. So the 2XL ones are the first ones that the first photo you saw. Those are my main one, my first pair of them, and then the 3XL ones are like my second pair and all that. Um, and then the back, which is my ponytail, and y'all can see a little bit that I did a little braid down the middle just to do a little twist in my hair just to make something cool come out of it. And then that was my after Monday, which again, flyaways, me looking a little wild and all that. Um, as well. But yeah. Yeah, and like I said, I like where I work is I like that I'm able to go into work in a t-shirt and shorts and jeans and all that and not really have to worry a whole lot. I mean, parts of me I mean, a part of me likes it, but of course part of me doesn't because, you know, um, I mean, there's a whole lot of reasons why, but yeah, and even I wear my Asics. So yeah, so if anyone's wondering where my tennis shoes in my first photo are from, they're from Asics, which are the brand of the tennis shoes, and I I would highly recommend Asics as a good tennis shoe. It doesn't have to be just work. It can just be, let's say you're trying to find a good shoe to go for walks on, go for your typical workout, or just good tennis shoes to wear out and about because your other ones might be not fitting anymore or they're due once again. But Asics are like the best shoe. Um, I'm I'm just gonna rule that out now. Like from in my opinion, they are because they are so cushiony and they're really comfortable to wear for for good periods of time and all that. And for me, this is like my second pair of Asics I've had, and oh, I love these so much. And if I had to pick which ones I've liked so far, it's my second pair because they're black. And I like that I got my second ones in black instead of blue. Um, because I just feel like me wearing a black shoe, even though where I work we don't really have a shoe color requirement that we have to wear, still, I just feel like a black tennis shoe of some sort, I just feel like just is the best to wear because, it matches with everything and you're not worrying about and you're not having to worry about um whatever you're wearing to work that day not matching with it. And so um yeah, it's pretty crazy. And so, um, and even my boyfriend also wears um black shoes to work too. Um, and they're more like slide on, like grip slide ons because of where he works at and all that. And so with him, his kind of are like a requirement, but not quite. But actually, I did see it was like the other day, like last week, I think it was, or it was earlier in the week, that he actually wore he actually wore different shoes on one day, which was shocking because I've only have seen him wear his black ones too, which was pretty shocking to me. And so, um, yeah. Mm-hmm. You got and but yeah. Oh, bitch. But yeah. So anyway, we're just hanging out at the moment and all that. But yeah. So and if you guys are wondering where I work and also where um and all that, I will say this, I do work at a thrift store in my area. Which is pretty cool. And I will say it's pretty cool, and especially for someone who's never thrifted before, it's actually pretty cool. Like, there's a lot of cool stuff. I've only have regular shopped and not thrifted, which is, and I'm not gonna lie, y'all. There's a lot of cute things to be thrifted. Like, I remember one of my church friends, a good chunk of her outfits are thrifted. And I remember one of my, I remember my neighbor telling me this because she knew that about her. And when she told me that, I was like, what? And then again, she told me about a couple other people from my church as well that also thrift stuff. I'm like, what? It's crazy. But yeah, I'm not gonna lie, good things and all that. Yeah, it was crazy. And so, yeah. Oh, oh my gosh. Nevens, I appreciate your comment there. I really do appreciate it. And all that, and I can tell that you're new here, so welcome. And all that. all that. But yeah. MKYT, welcome. I can tell you're new here. How are you doing? Bush, I see you're new too. Okay, I'm not even seeing that comment though. Even I love making people happy and things. Of course, and that's good because especially of how the world is today, we definitely need more people spreading the good like that out there. Cause because I mean, we all know how crazy this generation is these days and all that, and so
yeah, the more people, more positivity that comes in here, the better it'll be. Because, and all that. So, like I said, I very appreciate it. S- Exactly. Oh, that's cool. And all that. That's awesome. And yeah, definitely keep doing what you're doing because, like I said, the more positivity on here we get, the better. And the more people can actually look at the good side of things and not reality. I feel like I feel like there's a chunk of people that just look at the dirty side of the economy these days of what they're doing and all that. I feel like they just do and don't realize that they're getting themselves into the wrong side of things and all that. And I will say, um, if anyone on here is going through a season of some sort, whether if it's pain, whether if it's finding out not best news of some sort or anything, just know you're never alone and that you'll get through it regardless of what you think and what others say and think. And we all, like I said, we all go through something. It can be physical, mental, or both, or all things, honestly. Like, as an example, I go through a lot with my epilepsy side effects almost every day, every couple days or so, or just when it pops up. And it makes me not feel the best. But if it's because, for example, I get really bad headaches and dizzy spells, which are episodes where I get dizzy for a certain amount for extended periods of time. Um, and sometimes with me, like, let's say if I'm having a headache one day, and I haven't taken a Motrin that day, I could take a Motrin and just lay down, let myself take it easy for a bit and carry on. I'll directly do that, and then the next day, if I'm dizzy, all I can do about that is just lay in bed and just again not try to push limits on myself and not do anything crazy and all that. And that's the thing, y'all. When you're somebody like me who's went through a lot in my life, but also sometimes it's at that little point, you'll know how to exactly tell and all that. And so, um, yeah. Excuse me, god dang. And it's only 12:06 over here. Anyway, we're all alone in the summer fest. Won't get through it, but that's
and all that. And so, um, yeah, let me see. And also, Nevens, I'm glad that you came in here and definitely keep up what you're doing as well. And so, yeah, and all the things. Let's see. Jer, I see you're new here, so welcome. Let's see. Love Peace, I see you're new too. What inspired me? Um, to answer your question, um, well, what way should I use this? Well, I mean, when I was younger, I did notice that my vision was starting to, like, maybe like fifth grade me almost. Like, at least fifth grade me. I did notice that. Um, um, that my vision did start getting a slight blurry and, all that. And I also have, and I also on top of that have a lazy eye, so that just means one of my eyes just shifts in the not correct direction. So my right eye will look to the right and my left eye will look straight. And that's all because from when I had to go under intense brain surgery when I was almost 2, just to save my life from my um epilepsy. During the recovery process, at one point, uh, it it was in the healing stage. It kind of got to the point where when everything in the brain was trying to reset and recollect itself to get it to where just to adjust to it, it made this eye look this way. And it wasn't really noticeable until like late down the road. But, well, actually, I did learn that at one point my parents did try to do a medical patch on me at first when I was like a toddler, but y'all, we all know how toddlers keep things on, which they don't. And so of course little me did not keep it on, like most of them wouldn't. And mid-teens, I think, in my mid-teens I did ask about it and did um they did in fact bring up surgery, but I just was not really ready at the time, which is okay. And then when this past year I went to my eye doctor for my annual and all that, just to make sure I was good on everything. I kind of brought up what things like I could do for it, whether if I could re see if I could still do a medical patch or not, or and recently my neurologist brought up that there are these prism glasses that do well with pre-roll vision, but in my case, y'all, I neither both of those wouldn't at this point wouldn't be able to fully work. It's just because of how far damaged it is and all that. And so, um, yeah. And so my only option I had was surgery, but the thing was
I gave myself a couple days to think about it, and I did think about going forward until um when my parents called the office back to get an estimate on surgery costs. Y'all, apparently I heard that it was gonna freaking cost me. It was gonna freaking be at least 1,000. I think including with insurance, which was insane. Cause y'all, even mine would make me crazy too at points too. But like, okay, that's great. And so what I'll probably do is I'll just wait a bit. Cause, you know, eventually I do want to get this somewhat fixed, but it's gonna take a bit. And the thing is, I learned that in the surgery, I would only be able to get about 30% of my eye fixed, not a full 100, because in my case, apparently, if they fixed it to a full 100, I would end up having double vision. So I would end up looking like I'm cross-eyed plus having double vision on top of that. And y'all, imagine how that would go. Imagine how that would go. That would be insane. Because in that, y'all, double vision's like seeing two of the same thing. Like, as an example, like my phone is an example of double vision. Like, I could see two of the same thing in front of me. Like, two phones or two pins or two walls or that's not simple, or two of anything, which is crazy and terrifying to be thinking of, because that's crazy. But um and so um you got so also, is this thing, is she or he? Person, to answer your question, Sergio, I'm a female, and no, I do not have Down syndrome. I have epilepsy, which is a neurobrain disorder. See, wait down. My hair's just a little more shorter, so that's why you can think I'm a dude a little bit. But I actually like kind of this length actually, because it actually is easier to freaking manage my hair. I mean, at one point it did grow out for a couple years, but it just was getting to the point where I was about done with it. And I was actually pretty proud of myself for actually growing it out a good half point. So yeah. Anywho. Hang on. And all that. But yeah. So crazy. But anyway, y'all, I'm probably gonna go ahead and call it a night on here, because I mean, I've been on here for about an hour for some of y'all. But after today, I will be back on Friday and all that, and I will see you guys Friday.